Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica Rich, and on this channel, we talk about all things that help you become a better version of yourself, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. We talk about things that are most likely not common within the Black and Brown community, and to help you really tap into self love, healing, self care, setting boundaries, and you also get an opportunity to follow me around the DFW with some vlogs that I post during my single season, as well as me really tapping into my own self-love and healing journey. So on this video, we're going to talk about money management. And I had my women's improvement call this evening, and the topic was money management is a form of self-care. I think about my life and just some of the things and some of the challenges that I've had with money. I never was taught specifically how to budget money, how to handle money. My mom did a really good job when I was in high school by getting me a credit card. So I had a Burdines credit card. I think that was my 11th or 12th grade year of high school, and it helped me with the responsibility of like paying the card off. It did not have a large balance at all. I'm thinking like $200, but it did help me with building my credit and also, just getting in the habit of repaying the credit card. And when I eventually purchased my first vehicle, which was going into my sophomore year of college, I was able to actually get the vehicle in my name and I had the credit to do that. So it really set me up for that. But when it came to me getting out of college, actually, making money, paying full blown bills, like I wasn't really prepared for that. And I made a lot of mistakes being someone who had never made the amount of money I was making, didn't really know how to balance it, didn't know how to budget. And when you think about just how we spend money sometimes, when we don't really consider if we truly have the financial means to spend, money on what we want to purchase, it can really set us back. I remember when I moved to Dallas, I took a huge pay cut coming in as a leader. And I don't regret it because I ended up getting it back plus more. But coming in, I took a huge pay cut. And I remember I paid off my vehicle. I was like, I don't want to have a car payment. I'll pay my car off. I don't know if that was the smartest thing to do. And now I'm paying full blown rent. I'm taking an increase. I'm taking a decrease in my pay. So I wasn't getting overtime. And it was a huge setback for me. I relied on my credit cards significantly. And I basically had to dig myself out of the debt that I had created. And, as I continue my career and just trying to really focus it on, debt management with credit cards that I had accumulated a year after I moved here, I had bought all this new furniture for my apartment because I didn't have an apartment in Oklahoma that was furnished. I was basically using someone's address and living with them. But I bought all new furniture and I got bed bugs a year later from the moving truck when I moved from one apartment to the next. So I had to start all over with new furniture. And this time around, and that time around, I said, you know what? I'm already having to start over. Like, let me invest in the furniture that I really, really want. So I paid more than what I paid for the first set of furniture. There was just a number of things that happened that felt like a setback. I still was not making what I was making when I was on the road because it was more money with the overtime and traveling. And it was a huge adjustment for me, and I really had to dig myself out of that. And I even took advantage of an opportunity where at this time I was in a good place, but a friend of mine at the time had a room, and I was like, you know what, why don't I move in with you? It was a benefit for both of us. But I moved in with her for about 2 years, and it really, really helped me. And I was able to pay off my student loans, which when I graduated, I had $11,000 of student loan debt, and about 5,000 of that I took out and I shouldn't have. But I had $11,000 worth of student loans, so I was able to pay off the remaining balance of my student loans and just really put myself in a really good place. But I know what it was like to have the sleepless nights and the anxiety and stress about money. And it is where we are today when you think about being in a recession and we look at all these companies that are laying folks off. For anyone, I think it can create, some worry because you see some of these large, organizations that are laying thousands of people off. And, we are in a recession, as it's being said, that could put a fear in people. And I definitely don't want to live life in fear, and I don't encourage anyone else. But some of those are natural emotions and responses based on everything that's going on. So when I think about just the things that I've done to put myself in a position when it comes to money management and debt management, I would have to say, I still love to spend. I love nice things. I love to treat myself. I do use my credit card because I love to get the points. A lot of the self-care weekends and things that I do, those are typically on free night stays because of the points that I use with my card. So I do love that. But if, where we are in this time, I just ask that people really look at where they are financially, and if the money that you're spending is makes sense. And what I mean by that is like DoorDash and Uber Eats, I will run through them. Now, right now, I'm not because I'm on a detox, and that's something that I have been working on anyway. But like DoorDash and Uber Eats, if you really like calculate how much you spend in a month, I guarantee you most people that use it frequently are easily spending more than $200 a month on that, probably in addition to the groceries. So really, really being aware of like what you're spending and if there's any waste, and then removing that. Also, investing yourself. And that was one thing we talked about this evening as well. Like, if you want something that is really going to be beneficial to you, then, really look at your money and what you have set in place and how you can remove waste on, maybe you go to Starbucks every day and you don't go to Starbucks every day that month or for the month. Maybe it's a one-time thing for the month or one time for the week, and invest that additional money on yourself. Whatever that is, whether that's a gym membership, that's a trainer, that's a life coach, therapy, whatever it is, like how do you use that money to really, really invest and pour into yourself? So I think that's important too. If you do have, a significant amount of debt and you don't know where to start, reach out to someone who may be able to assist you. There are a lot of YouTube videos that you could probably look into. I'm not saying going to take everybody's advice, but you have the YouTube videos, you have, maybe a friend that's really good with budgeting. There's financial advisors out there. There are also like different programs that really assist people with budgeting, even some company sponsored programs that help with budgeting. I know my company has that. Like if I needed to speak to someone to help, I could. But take advantage of those resources, especially if they're free, to help you really position yourself to minimize, maybe some of the money that you're spending that's not necessary, and that could be shifted to your debt management. But when I really, really pulled myself about 6 years ago out of where I was with, debt and wanting to pay off just really credit card and student loans, like I really, really tackled into what I was spending and what was unnecessary. I didn't travel that much. I definitely did not eat out. I meal prepped a lot. And when you think about money management and what you're doing to take care of your money and how that translates to self-care, it's putting yourself at ease and giving yourself a peace of mind. I talk about self-care on this channel, which is so important, but it's even more important that you take care of yourself and you don't put yourself in a position where you're creating unnecessary stress and anxiety, because some of these things are in our control and some it's not. Right? It depending on where you are now, it's a snowball effect, but you can position yourself to put yourself in a better place, and you deserve that for yourself. For me, it's about legacy. It's about doing things differently than my parents. And not to say my parents are not good with money. Like my dad has basically always bought his vehicles cash. And he's like a true go-getter to me. But there are things that I want to do differently for my retirement and for the next generation that's a little bit different from what he did. And he retired at 55. So it is so important to know where you are with your money, have a relationship with your money, and then really tap into what discipline you need to be a better steward of your money. Because that's one thing I did. And when I moved in with my friend, financially I could afford an apartment. But I made that decision and I never cared about what people thought about me because that was the best position for me. And when it was time for me to buy a house and, at the beginning of, basically 2020, like I was in a position and I wasn't even looking to purchase a home. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought the call was very powerful tonight. If you're interested in joining our women's improvement calls, please be on the lookout. It's every month. I appreciate your support and I hope you have a good day.